All right.
Okay.
High five.
Okay.
Okay. See ya.
Okay. What news you cook? Are you a news course? Or Columbia
I
University?
just
or
no.
something?
I mean,
You're
I'm too old
old
to be a student. It's just, I feel like.
I'm not too old to be a student. I'm 20 years
Well-
older than you are.
Well, actually, it's good. I mean, you learn from life. From that point of view, yes, of course, I'm a student of life, student of logic,
Right.
student of common sense. And that's exactly what we're trying to do. Instill common sense to you people who never experienced socialism.
You haven't heard? You've never heard a word I said?
Which one?
You haven't heard a word I said. I refuse your logic by pointing out that
Okay.
Cuba is, on a very basic imperial basis, a different country. I pointed that out, and you didn't hear that. And you're saying,
Compared to Russia.
yes,
The same system, come on.
it's the
Same
Same
system.
system. And you just said to me there was an enormous difference between what Marx wrote and developed. what
Oh,
he was
absolutely.
fighting
Yeah.
for. And
It's
Marx
the same.
and Engels.
It's the same so-called socialism, and all of them have the same denominator.
And,
there is-
and you and I agree that it was so-called
So
social.
absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay,
I'm with
okay.
you on that. The
Okay,
reason it's so cool
well,
is because there's excuse me for 1 second. Let me just finish the train of thought. There's one common denominator for all of them, and that is called, it starts with the letter T or D, totalitarianism or dictatorships. All of them are.
How do you
Ceausescu's,
spell Stalin in Russian? S-T-I-L-E-N, right?
Stalin, yes. Okay.
Stalin,
Yeah.
Man of Steel, right?
Yes.
Another S, right? Same way you spell S-S-S-S-N, right?
Yes.
I'm trying to point out a certain confluence at this point.
They're all totalitarian states. How do you spell Ceausescu?
Ceausescu,
Yeah.
totalitarian.
Exactly.
How do I spell Ceausescu? S-T-I-L-E-N. That's how I spell Ceausescu. No, I'm serious.
course.
I've been in Romania. I was there.
Oh, so you know how horrible it was under Ceausescu, right?
Oh, look,
Or DDR, German
I
so-called.
came there as a tourist, and
Uh-huh.
I stayed in an area where some of the better off Romanians were, and they were more or less apolitical. I wasn't, but they were.
You can't be political over there because you'll end up behind. You'll just be murdered, just like that.
Well, anyway, Ceausescu. You might find some of the books in Pathfinder interesting. I don't know if you can refute them, but one book I might recommend is Malcolm X, Black Liberation, The Role of the Workers' Power.
So read the books. That's your advice.
I said you might find it interesting. I'm not going to force you to do anything.
Of course not. It's a free country. Thank God. We were forced
It's
to
a
study.
free planet. It's a free planet.
We were
To hell
forced.
with it. To hell with the dictatorship of capital.
We were forced to read the Das Kapital. We were
So they
forced to
want
read
us-
Lenin's work. We were forced to study all this stuff. We were forced.
So you go to a Catholic school and they force you to read some shit
Yeah,
called.
but you have a choice. In the USSR, there was no choice. That's the fundamental difference.
Okay,
No choice
do you know
whatsoever.
do you know the doctrine of Christian discovery?
I'm sorry, the doctrine of Christian discovery?
discovery.
What is that?
It says that because I am Christian
Uh-huh.
and I have seen this place and put my foot on it, it is mine.
Okay.
I'm serious. That's what the Europeans took as their ideology, coming to North and South America, coming to Africa, coming to Asia, the doctrine of Christian discovery. And they used the Pope as an arbiter when they got into a quarrel between the states as to who owned what. When Spain and Portugal got into it, the Pope cut a line, imaginary, through the planet and said, this belongs to Portugal, this belongs to Spain.
So what's your point?
The point is that we have to fight for our rights as working people. That's the point, basically. Basically, that's
Embrace capitalism. I don't want to be working people.
You don't want to be working people?
I don't want to.
There's no higher calling.
I don't be. I want to
Okay,
be.
that's your problem.
I don't.
That's your
My
problem.
own
That's your
man,
problem.
my own business, and that's what I have.
Well, that's your problem.
And that's the working person
You've
working.
got a psychological deficiency. You want to run somebody else's life.
Of course I do, and I want them to
Right.
be successful. Oh, absolutely.
That's not successful. That is psychologically deficient.
I want to give them an opportunity.
No, that's not opportunity. That's control.
Well, the guy,
That's
for instance.
control. That's a psychological error.
Well,
I was recommending that you read a book about a
read the
fighter.
book. Okay, read the book. I'll give you an
Malcolm X,
example.
Black Liberation and the
guy,
Role of the Workers' Power. That's all I was doing.
the guy who works in my office right now, for instance, okay?
It's
he-
your
he-
office? You run the office?
Well, I have my own office, of course. I'm a businessman, small businessman, okay?
Well, you and I have a problem of psychological orientation. I think workers should run the whole planet.
The whole planet.
The whole planet. That's the reason I recommend.
So there will be no bosses, is that what you're saying? No
I am so proud of your action.
Yeah, so I'm stupid on the one hand and then smart at the same time. High five.
Look, first of all, I never called you stupid. I suggested
Psychological deficiency is kind of...
psychological deficiency. I didn't say...
But that's okay. I don't take umbrage. Don't worry.
We're having a discussion.
Wait for sunny day.
We're having a discussion. I said psychologically deficient because I was referring to your psychological
Inability,
inability to...
meaning stupid, but that's okay.
meaning your inability to work with somebody to, and one day give orders, and the next day have orders given to you.
But how would you imagine workers? Let's say there is a factory. If you're not running someplace else, let's say to extend your ideas of people running, workers running everything, and no boss is there. So let's take a factory that makes makes this cross, okay? Because anything that you wear over here, anything.
Would you look again, please?
At the what?
You said a cross. I'm not wearing a cross.
No, whatever. Let's say a garb.
An Ankh.
Okay, whatever.
It's a different culture.
Different. Okay.
I'm not a Christian. I do not support the doctrine of Christian discovery.
Okay, fine. The clothes, the garbs, the shoes.
Exactly.
I mean, whatever you have was made somewhere, right? Was made somewhere.
Yes.
So let's say there are no bosses.
Yes.
Then how do you fancy let's say manufacturing process? To start the manufacturing process, I mean, think about it.
But I believe I described the situation to you. You have a bunch of people, and then one day you elect a leader, or 1 year you elect a leader, whatever the period of time, and next year you elect another leader.
Another leader. Okay.
Not necessarily a different person, but you elect a leader.
Okay.
The point I'm trying to raise is that.
But
there's a difference between a boss who is in there perpetually and a leader who is responsive to and responsible to the people who elect him or her and can be void of office.
Elect. So the bosses have to be elected on a regular basis, and they should rotate. That's your concept, right?
Yeah, rotate.
They should rotate.
Again, it could be the same person being rotated, but they should stand for re-election.
Re-election. Okay. So let's say,
and that's still leadership, you know.
Okay, so let's say you work. Forget about how to set up the production. Let's say there's a running factory. Wait. Hold on. It's not. It has to be. You can't live in abstract. That's the thing. You cannot live in an abstract world.
Yes, you can.
I mean, maybe in the other world, netherworld, yes, but in the real world, this planet, like you said, no.
As long as I'm walking on this planet, this is the real world.
Well, exactly. In the real world, like I said, you wear specific shoes, concrete shoes, concrete garbs, concrete jewelry, made by concrete people somewhere.
It's going to be very hard for you to understand what I'm saying, and I understand and I appreciate that.
All right.
But I want to go over there and say
okay,
hello
it's a free country. Nice talking to you. Let me shake your hand.
I didn't really shake your hand.
With whatever it is.
This is an Ankh. A-N-K-H.
A-N-K. Okay. I'll remember that.
It's the sign of the Aset, who is called in Greek Isis and pronounced in English Isis.
I see.
It has nothing to do with those guys who are the so-called political Muslims, and they are not. They're neither Muslim nor they're political.
I see. Okay.
They're capitalists. They're capitalists.
God bless capitalism.
Yeah, they're capitalists.
I love capitalism. Okay, see ya.
No, you won't like these guys because they're going to demand that you're not only capitalist, but you be their kind of capitalist.
I see. All right, see ya.
Yeah, no, I remember hearing that the adjuncts were making about the same that I was making.